The situation with LGBT people in Nigeria, it's a very difficult one. Nigeria is the only country in the world that has a constitutional law criminalizing same-sex relationship and same-sex identity with 14 years imprisonment. And also, apart from the legal standing, we have non-state actors actually implementing judicial proceedings by breaking into people's home, attacking people, beating up people, stripping people naked. And it's a very distressing state out there. In 2004, in a remote part of Lagos, Nigeria, a young man was sitting in front of a camera, was about to be interviewed by Nigeria's most celebrated television talk show host. This young man was about to tell a story that would not only change his life, but would change the life of many people thousands of kilometers away. A few years after I came out, my house was broken into. I was beaten, I was tortured, I narrowly escaped being shot in the head. I was tied up, I was stripped naked. At some point, all I could see was my body in a casket. It was as if I had an out-of-body experience in my subconscious. My attackers did this to me because of one reason. I was the man who had the effrontery to come out on national television as gay. That day, they wanted to take away my pride from me. They wanted to take me away from me. That night, I stopped being a victim and I started being Bisi Alimi. Today, I have to deal constantly with the victim narrative of not being man enough. I have to deal with the victim narrative of not being an African. But what is very important to me is that these narratives don't shape me. I want to own my own story. I want the whole world to know that nobody taught me to be gay. That I was gay the very moment I made my first cry as a baby. 10 years after my coming out, on January 2014, the Nigerian government signed into law a bill that would prescribe 14 years imprisonment for LGBT people. Just immediately after the passage of the law, we started seeing situations like this in Nigeria. Houses have been broken into. Men and women stripped naked, forced to have sex in public. In this kind of situation, it is very easy to go to bed at night crying. It is very easy to be broken. In this kind of situation, it is very easy to give up. But one thing that we fail to understand is the fact that there are men and women that are standing up and wanting to be counted. And today I want to celebrate our allies. In 2004, while I was preparing to go on TV, this woman risked her life, risked her profession, risked her job, and she became the first woman to interview a gay person in Nigeria. Our show got cancelled because she gave me a platform. Today, I want to remember Nathan John and Ayo Sogoro, two prominent Nigerian bloggers who have used their blogs to tell an alternative narrative of reality of sexual orientation and gender identity in Nigeria. Mind you, I'm talking about heterosexual people. I want to remember Olumide Makanjuola, who is leading the most formidable LGBT challenges in Nigeria, who is becoming a new voices for LGBT people in the country. Today, many of you know the most celebrated Nigerian, Chimamanda Adichie. She's used a book to tell stories of LGBT characters in Nigeria. What about Judibia, the first Nigerian author to write a book with a main focus on sexual orientation and gender identity? titled Walking with Shadows. I also remember my very good friend, Stephanie, a German lady who has used her role and her opportunities in Germany to highlight the injustice faced by Nigerian LGBT activists within the German political elite. These are people that are standing up on our behalf. They're giving us voices. They are not speaking for us, but they are creating platforms for us to speak up. When the attackers came to my house in 2007, they wanted to break me, but I refused to be broken. They wanted to silence me, but I refused to be quiet. They wanted to take away my pride, but I refused them that opportunity. Today, there are many LGBT activists and many LGBT people on the continent of Africa who, like me, might be wondering, what can I do? You have a choice. You can either choose to come out or stay in the closet. You can either choose to fall or rise. You can either choose to be silenced or to speak up. You can either choose to be a champion or to be a victim. Because today I stand before you as a fellow of the Aspen Institute's New Voices. I stand before you as a proud godfather of two amazing, beautiful girls. I stand before you as a lover, as a brother, and as a son. I celebrate being listed on the World Pride Power List 2014. I celebrate being listed 4 years in a row on the UK most important LGBT people. I celebrate being listed as the third most influential free thinker and secularist in the United Kingdom. I celebrate being a champion and not a victim. When my attacker came for me in 2007, they wanted to make me a victim. But I stood tall today with the opportunity given to me to stand before you and tell my story, that my name is Bisi Alimi, a Nigerian-born British citizen, gay rights activist. And I am not a victim.